Have you seen the movie The Substance? I recently watched it and it has inspired today's episode because even though it's a horror movie and whatever, it speaks so strongly to what I'm always talking to women about, and that is how important your self-worth is. If you don't have self-worth, terrible things can happen. This movie is an exaggeration, but still so true. So that's what we're going to talk about. Hi, I'm Josie. I'm the host of the From Devastated to Divorce podcast and a separation survival specialist working with women that are trying to deal with their unwanted marriage end. And I watched this movie, The Substance. Spoilers are coming, just so you know. If you haven't seen it and want to see it, I'm giving spoilers, so stop now and come back later. What I found sad about this movie is that it's a way a lot of women feel about themselves and a lot of ways that they allow society to make them feel about themselves. So the premise is a mature woman in her 50s. She was a movie star. She was famous. She had a star on the Walk of Fame. But now she's having trouble finding work or actually holding on to work because her employers don't value her because she is old in their eyes. And so the movie starts with people telling her happy birthday, and you can see that she's not happy that they're reminding her. Apparently she's turning 50 or 51, and that's terrible. That's ancient in this world. So she's not excited that she's turning 50 or that she's having a birthday. And then her boss, which is a real creep, she accidentally hears him talking about how he is getting rid of her because she can't bring in the crowds because she's so old. They need someone new, someone fresh, someone beautiful. Okay. So in the midst of this, getting fired and being heartbroken, she runs into this guy that she used to go to high school with. And this high school guy says, "Oh my gosh, hi, how are you? Oh, it's been forever since we've seen each other. You're still just as beautiful." You know, throwing flowers, complimenting her, and she's like, cool, eating it up and appreciates it. He gives her his number so they can maybe meet and go out. Whatever, she moves on. A situation arises where she is offered the opportunity to be youthful again, but in this really screwed up way where she splits herself in two. One part of her will be young, the other part of her will be who she is now, and they're both the same person. So 7 days you're young, 7 days you're, I'm going to say OG you. Okay. And she's like, wow, I'm going to go for it because she felt like she didn't have any value at 50. So she takes this substance, right? She takes this substance and then, add grotesque horror movie, blah, blah, blah. She splits into two people. There's a young her and then there's the OG her. Great. So the young her, because they're supposed to be the exact same person, the young her remembers everything that's happened. And so from this moment on, their minds will not meld. She's not going to know what's happening. One is not going to know what's happening with the other. But at this point she does. So she runs off to get that job that OG her had. And she gets it because she's cute, she's perky, she's young, her tits are perky, her ass is tight. She gets the job. One thing I will say about this movie is that they sure do focus a lot on tight, close angles of butts and butt cheeks and erotic. And, you know, maybe it was made for men. Maybe, I don't know. I don't think it was necessary, but it was there. Then, okay, so she gets the job. She's happy. She's excited. They're doing the switch. 1 week OG, 1 week young. 1 week OG, 1 week young. But the problem starts here. The OG does not do anything with her life. She's not like, cool, now on my 7 free days, I'm going to go travel. I'm going to go hang out with friends. I'm going to live my best life. No, she sits and watches what young her has been doing the week, and she becomes like a hermit and doesn't go out and doesn't do anything, it isn't living. Because why? Because since she's, older, she can't go and do anything with her life. She's no longer valuable, so all she can do is wait around to bring her other self back. She's wasting her life. The one thing that I want to comment is that she's got a beautiful apartment, she's got a beautiful view, and she has this ridiculously huge framed photo of herself as she is now. Like, not young her, just her now. So she seemed to have at some point, or somebody maybe commissioned it for her, I don't really know, but she looks great. She's a mature 50-year-old woman. It's Demi Moore. I mean, Demi Moore is beautiful. She looks great. Okay, moving on. What happens? Young her is having a gay old time living her life, and she decides one day that she's going to push the envelope and not quite trade with OG her for a little while. And when she doesn't do that, it affects the look of OG her. It causes her to age in a weird spot, but it happens. And so OG her is like, that's not good. But she sees how much attention and love the young her is getting, that she decides that she needs some love and attention too. So she calls the guy that she bumped into that said how beautiful she was, and she goes to talk to him because she needs to get someone to validate her. She can't validate herself. She can't just acknowledge that she's all that and a bag of chips. She needs some guy to do it. Well, when she's getting ready for that date and she's looking in the mirror, she doesn't see anything that she likes about herself. She can't bring herself to go out because she's just disgusted with what she's seeing, which is a beautiful, mature woman. But now she's comparing herself to her young self, so she hates herself even more. Okay, what happens? Young her is back and having a great time. Old her is sitting there being a hobbit and hiding out and eating her feelings and being pissed off at young her because young her is living the life that old her or OG her would like to be living. So it's a disaster. It's not going well. And young her's like, screw this. I don't want to go back and give up on 7 days of my life. I'm living. I'm having a fun time. And she takes time from OG her. So much time that when OG her wakes up, she is a shell of her former self. She is a mess. Old, terrible. And something that I found really interesting in the movie is that she, now hunched over, just a disaster, walks by that portrait of her that was just her a few weeks ago. And I bet that she's thinking, shit, that's not so bad. What was I complaining about? Look at, she wasn't so bad, but she couldn't value her when that's what she had sitting right in front of her. It's like, we've all kind of been in smaller situations like this. I know that there was a point when I took photos of myself because they were my before photos because I needed to look better. And now when I look at those before photos, I'm like, what was I talking about? I looked great. Why did I have to be so hard on myself? Why do we have to be so hard on ourselves? Why can't we just love and value ourselves? And when we realize it, it's too late. So now OG her is like, shit, that wasn't so bad, but it's too late now. You can't go back. You have wasted time that you could have enjoyed your life wanting to be better and different. And what's happened is that you've just continued to grow old and older and worse. So then she decides, I got to stop this experiment because pretty soon I'm just going to be dead because the young me is not respecting the rule. She does what she needs to do to end her young self. And when she's looking at her and she's thinking about how everybody is so proud of her and how everybody is loving her and how she's so popular and everybody thinks she's so great, she can't bring herself to end her because she just wants people to have something to love. And if somebody loves an extension of her, then she's getting validated. It's convoluted. Trust me that it is.
Come on. What? You're the only lovable part of me. You have to come back. You have to come back.
But the point of the movie is when you don't love yourself, when you don't believe in yourself, when you don't see who you are, you let horrible things happen. You make terrible choices. You lose out on beautiful opportunities. You don't need validation from anybody but yourself. All you need is to love yourself. All you need is to believe that you are valuable. You can be 25, you could be 50, you could be 75, you could be 100 pounds, you could be 150 pounds, you could be 250 pounds, and you are valuable. You matter. You are on this earth. Nobody needs to tell you that you are besides you. And if you don't tell yourself that you are, nobody else is probably going to believe it anyway either, because they're just going to be taking advantage to use you, because you're going to be easy to manipulate, because all you want is love and attention. And people will walk all over you because they will see that you don't protect and value and care for yourself. So this movie was like an extreme exaggeration of what happens when you don't love yourself and when you don't value yourself. But it is such a visual that I highly recommend that you check it out. And please analyze. How are you? Do you love yourself? Check in with yourself. Loving yourself and valuing in yourself and knowing your worth isn't something that just you have and it's there. It is something that you have to continue to work with. So if you are not sure how to do that, you can definitely check out chapter 3 of my methodology, Better, Stronger, Loved You. And it's all about rebuilding or building your self-worth, finding ways to connect with yourself, to learn to love yourself, and to find peace in you without anybody else giving it to you. So thanks for watching. If you want to know more about chapter 3 of my methodology, all the information will be down below. And remember, you matter.